Hey, hey, Blue Table fans! How's it going? What's going on with you? I'm doing great. Well, it's been 15 glorious years. Oh yes, it's driven me quite mad. Alright, so what's going on at Blue Table Painting nowadays? Well, let's see. Let's check the scoreboard. Got about 10 artists going on. I'm bringing on 2 new artists these days. And that's awesome to like train a new person. I love it. I used to pawn that off on like other people, but now I'm really enjoying it. It's really great. And I certainly know what I'm doing. I got a great manual. That's the secret, folks. Get a good manual, get a good system. So, it is snowing in Utah. Probably we're getting about 8 inches, I think. And it's good. Because if it's a really warm winter, I'm like, oh, all the people that need precipitation, come on. And I was up at Sundance, and they were like blowing snow onto the hillside, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty brutal. But I think the ski resorts are up high enough that they, you know, they don't have to worry about it so much. I don't know. Is that the case? Do ski resorts have to worry about how much snow there's going to be? I mean, with a good, you know, with a good turnout. Hey, do you guys remember Katie, like blue-haired young Katie? Well, guess what? I got to see her again the other day, and she now has like flaming reddish, orangish hair, and is married. So, what do you know about that? It's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool to see people, you know, being successful in life. And I would say that if anybody was more successful or had a good experience or somehow gained some kind of benefit on account of my company, that would make me feel awesome. That's fantastic. And the thing is, I'm doing great. I already have everything that I could need. And my life is awesome. That's really why I don't do as much videos as I used to. I don't need to do them. I could literally do 1 video a month and still get the same amount of business. Ah, yes. Good old repeat customers. Thank you very much. So, yeah, there was a time where, so I have a client who sends me money orders like every month. Just a couple of money orders every month. And I was like, you know what? If I had more of this guy, I could conquer the world. And now I do. So, yeah, what am I working on? My miniatures battles game nowadays is Dungeons & Dragons or role-playing games. Of course, I have my D&D game with my kids. I'm starting up a science fiction game using the champion system as I drink from this apparently incredibly dirty glass. I've been drinking juice out of it, and so it's like the juice is dried, right? Just a little bit. And then I put water in it, and now it's kind of gross. I'm actually going to drink this off camera. Oh yeah, so good. And I found out that Salt Lake City water comes majority from wells and runoff. And as far as I can tell, it's not like it's not like the sewage treated water from another city. You know, it's all just kind of coming off the mountains. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty awesome. I'm a huge fan of Salt Lake City tap. Alright guys, what else? What is going on in Shawn's life? Well, as you guys know, I have 4 kids from my first marriage, 20 years, faithfully and happily, and then I have a bonus baby from a relationship after that, on purpose. She's now 2.5. Her name is Audrey. And in fact, you know, you can friend me on Facebook if you want. I got a lot I got a lot of good friends on Facebook. I'm going to do something extremely middle-aged now and show you a picture of my wonderful child. Ooh, for some reason there's a video on there. What's going on? She's like a little Shirley Temple. Okay, let's get the brightness up here. There we go. Da, 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 da. Okay, sorry, I just got a text from a client. Not a client, an artist. So there you go. That's my girl. Yeah, and she's so funny. She takes after me. She's super outgoing, super loud in public, and she just takes charge. She knows what she likes. She isn't afraid to say it now. You go away now. I can't reach. She's starting to say like those little phrases, you know. She's starting to like figure out how to talk, which is amazing. Like, why don't animals figure out how to talk? You know, what's going on with that? Come on, animals, try and keep up. Ooh, a text. By the way, I keep this on. Yes, I'm constantly monitoring. I know. This is so uncouth, but I'm gonna make you. I'm going to make you part of it. Oh, okay, good. That's it's an interview coming. All right. So it's snowing. Role-playing games. I'm doing a science fiction game based on the Champion system, which is a superhero point buy, but it's perfect for pretty much anything. And in fact, they noticed that. They're like, wow, you could just building blocks anything. And that's how the hero system came about. Of course, the hero system is ridiculous. Let me show you the rule book for that. This is part 2 of the rules. Like, it's insane. Like, you thought the Pathfinder core rule book was crazy? Oh no, this is crazy. And this is all, I mean, it's pretty thick, guys. But in this system, you could basically do anything, you know. So it's pretty cool. I actually don't have the first one. I have 2 copies of the second one that I bought by accident. I don't have part 1 yet. There's 1 copy on eBay for like 120 bucks, but I can't bring myself to do it. Please, somebody end my torment by having this and sending it to me. Wouldn't that be nice? Ooh. Oh, and I've been really putting stuff on the Webstore now. Pretty much as I'm painting all these, because I paint things just an hour or 2 at night, you know. And by the way, I probably could have painted like 4 40K armies in the time I've put into all this other stuff. But, you know, you go through phases and different things interest you at different times. So, anyway, painting, oh yeah, I put it at the Webstore. Oh, and today, Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Jr.? Yes. Okay, so MLK. So I have a sale on the Webstore. So check the liner notes for details on that. It's really good. I've got a couple armies on there, and with the special, you are going to really like, guys, it's no-brainer pricing. You really should go. You should go. Like, don't be all jaded and like, just go and look. Just go and look at how good it can be. So, because, you know, some people are like, I'm selling my army. It's $500 retail, but I'll let you have it for $450. I'm like, that's not a good deal. You know what a good deal would be? $250. That would be half off. That's no-brainer prices. 90% off, that's garage sale pricing right there. Of course, miniatures tend to hold their value a little better than that. All right. So yeah, my life is awesome. I have my wonderful studio, the size and organization that I would like it. It'd be nice to have a little extra gaming room, I admit that. And I just, you know, I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and answering emails and eating Indian food. It's great. Speaking of which, cooking, I taught myself how to cook, and well, and I put a lot of time and effort into it. And So I've been cooking Indian food. I also taught myself how to do not coconut shrimp, honey walnut shrimp. And now I have opinions on how to do it. So let's see here. Hold on a second. Yep, that's loading. Okay. Let's see. The things I want to talk about. So, my next 40k army is going to be Gene Stealer Cult. I've got a Tau army, I've got a Necrons army, both Xenos, and Gene Stealer Cult technically are Xenos, but I count them more as like an Imperial type army, like a human type army, and I think they'll be nice foils for the other two. Of course, just doing an Imperial Guard army would be pretty awesome. Yeah, the dog faces. Like, humans are kind of like the eternal protagonists, you know? Like, we're up against a bigger universe. And I wonder what's going on. Like, oh, come on. All these galaxies, you know? Like, if you spent 1 second per star system, you'd live to be over 100 before you saw all the ones in just our galaxy. And then you could see galaxies per second and live to over 100 years, 24/7, seeing one every second, and not get to the end of those. Just in the observable universe, which is obviously, there's more, you know, it boggles the mind. And I'm like, what are we doing here? It's like we kind of seem alone on this world. And it's neat. Wonder what's going on. All right. Let's see. Cooking. Yes. So I started doing Indian food, and I'm getting better. Like, my chicken tikka masala is pretty dang good. Like, I can't get enough of it. I tried a coconut korma, and I have opinions on it now. So every time I start cooking something, I'll see the recipe, and I know enough now that I'm like, all right, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna change these two things, and then of course I do it. Typically, I gotta cook a dish like 10 times before I can do it well from memory. Like, just go to the store and be like, here's all the ingredients, you know, and then I have opinions on it. So let's see. Oh, dancing. Loved it. 2018 was the year of dance. I went to a competition. I did a public exposition where I did a hustle/cha-cha routine with my instructor, like dressed up and everything for it. And I'm taking a little break in January, and then I'm going to start cracking it again in February. And let me tell you, I had a lot of pie over Christmas break. So, I know it's coming. I know it's coming that I'm going to have to, you know. Well, you know what's funny is, so I'm 6'1", and I know, do I seem like shorter on the, I think people told me I seemed taller when they met me in person. So, at the most, I weighed 231. And that was like, oh, like, why are my shirts not fitting? Well, why do you think, Shawn? And so I really racked it up with dancing and everything. I got down to 215. Still not where I wanted to be. So what I found is I can eat watermelon and cottage cheese and dance, lift weights, etc. 10 hours a week. Yeah, and weigh 215. Or I can eat pie and do whatever I want and weigh 220. So, I don't know. Of course, if I'm not lifting weights, I don't carry it as well, so that's not great either. It's all right. You know what? It goes in stages, because I'm certainly in way better shape than I was 4 years ago, certainly 6 years ago. You know, all those years you knew me when I was eating tapioca out of giant tubs. All right. So, okay. Now the plugs. Is it okay? Can I tell you the great things going on at my company? So first off, I have a program called Aspiring Warlord, and it's I look at the dilemma of the consumer. Like, what's going on at your local game shop? How can I solve that? Because I view it, my job is to make sure people have painted miniatures. There you go. That's what I do in this society. And so Aspiring Warlord works like this. Disclaimer. Go to the actual place where it's written down. That's where the real deal is, because I might change it up there. I might refine it. And so I don't want to say something on the video and then someone like, hey, you said this on the video. So on the video, I'm saying, go look at what's written, because what's written counts. All right, with that said, so you pay me a certain amount a month. The lowest level is 200. And I view that as within the reach of the common man. For a lot of people, that's a lot of money. But that's what this hobby is. To get your army, assemble it, and paint it would be really, you know, it takes time. It takes, one way or another, you're going to have to either expend the time or you're going to have to expend the money. And so it's 200 a month. Every time, usually on the 15th, those all get processed, and then you get credited for assembly and painting services, 300. So it's like wholesale rates. And then on top, and it's for a year, so you're in it. You're in it for a year, but by the end of that year, you'll probably have 2 larger armies, probably maybe 3 or 4 smaller ones, or whatever else you wanted to get done. And it's a lot. It is once you see it all laid out on the table, you're just like, wow, what an accomplishment. So what I imagine is that some people will send me models they already have assembled. And in fact, you just clear out your garage. Send it. I'll bin it up, all labeled. You'll be on your Aspiring Warlord program, and there's higher levels. It goes up to 8,000 a month. And you would... and then I can just draw from that and do the things and send you something every 2 months or whatever. And so far, so good. I've actually, this is sort of an offshoot of the Hero of the Imperium special, but that was like a big chunk of money up front, and then we would sort of part it out over the course of the year. And then I was like, well, what could I do for the regular people, you know? And so that's what I came up with. So for the higher amounts, the deal just like gets better and better and better. And who would do that? Oh, there's people that would do that. There's individuals, but also I imagine companies would do it. Like, there's a point where even if you had people on staff doing it, my deal would still be better. And if anything, I've got longevity, and I've got a portfolio, and I've been around, and I've got thick or thin, I've got them contracts done. The worst that can happen is it takes a little longer. So, that's Aspiring Warlord, and I'm running that indefinitely. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great program. The other one, also being run until further notice, is Just Get It Done, which I'm just going to include it in the liner notes and not explain it. But basically, typically the guys that are taking advantage of this are paying me between $500 and $800 to get a whole army painted. Typically 80 to 140 figures, at the upper end 140. And it's artistic license, very basic painting level, but this is awesome. Like, I have tooled out my crew with great skills. We can do boutique painting, but also just, you know, we've always been a workhorse studio. There's a zillion boutique painters out there. Ooh, look at this one model I did. It took me 50 hours to do it. You know, or maybe they're just really good. And I'm not mocking them. I respect that. That is amazing. But there's a lot of them to, you know, to service that end of the spectrum. I'm the guy where you go when you need 300 goblins painted. So, and even when I was soloing, I much preferred just doing masses of figures. Well, like Deep Madness, you know. I've just been picking away at it an hour or two a night, and well, you've seen I'm up to 240 figures. I'm getting them done. Well, guys, that's my life. It's a good life, and it makes me happy. And I want to, for all of you that have been really positive through the years, I really want to thank you. It's been helpful, and it's been a great journey. And I get so many people saying so many nice things. It's really wonderful. And I think there's a lot of people that are they're pretty quiet about it, but they follow along. All right, well, off I go.